I mean, we don't know.
I'm sure that there's people that know people that know people that know people
that talk to
that
those
they
people.
find out about the technology that we actually have. Because there's actually TVs out there that are just a sheet of glass that you can see on both sides.
I think you showed me that.
Oh yeah,
like,
they even do that in like some movies, like even like Star Wars does that.
In Minority Report.
Like they have the sheet of glass and you can see on both sides and you can look at everything and watch it.
Yeah.
There's
technology out that we don't know about.
Give us that. I mean, like, I would buy that TV right away.
What I love, I just have to say, what I love about the Matrix is they offer Neo the blue or red pill.
Yeah.
And the blue pill is like, okay, we'll tell you everything about the Matrix. You can be involved in it. You can go in it. You can do what you want to do, or you can take. I forget which pill was for what, but the other pill was that like.
You can stay where you're at.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Like you will not even remember that there was anything such as the Matrix. But yeah.
What if you took both?
Yeah.
You start tripping. Take all your clothes off. I'm fucking going for it.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Matrix is a good movie.
Matrix. I never really got into it, but she knows all about it.
She loves it.
Yeah.
But think about it too, because I mean, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
It had a lot of ideas of like, you know, the very first.
Don't go to 2020.
Did you guys ever go on that ride at Universal Studios?
Which one?
I haven't been to Universal.
There's no Back to Universal.
There used to be.
Well, there's not one now.
And all you do, it's a simulated car. So you, or
that's cool.
I think that's the right word. You go in the car and you think you're in the real, like you're really flying and stuff, but you're just.
What's really cool? Disney did that. They did with the Millennium Falcon when they first opened the Star Wars universe. Yeah. That one was the coolest one to go on.
What was Millennium Falcon? That was the Star Wars?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's Han Solo's. It's
Oh.
really cool because they showed on an engineering video like what it looks like. It's just a box, and then it just like there's a bunch. It's a big room, but they set up like, you know, the long lines where they do is like while you're waiting, you at least get to see cool shit.
Yeah.
And they have the entrance where it's like the doors that open up to the Millennium Falcon, but it's just like a bunch of boxes that are sitting on a platform with like a I don't know what they're called, like a claw or an anchor that moves it up, down, left, right, and then like sideways. And it's really cool because you sit in there and you really feel like when it's flying, like you feel like you're taking off. And it shows how it picks you up and then it brings you down. It turns you this way, it turns you that way, and those are amazing.
That's crazy.
That's like the same. I would say that's like. Would you say like the same engineering that they use for like NASA?
Sure.
As when they
the simulation of going up in airplane in rockets and stuff like that. Most definitely.
They just made it.
That's what Ninja wanted to be, was an astronaut.
Really?
And I guess people are going on Mars and they're trying to habitate there.
Yeah,
they're trying. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty wild, man.
Fuck that. Why would we go to some place that's no longer a planet?
Because our instinct is survival.
Yeah, but that died.
Yeah, but their instinct is still survival. People want to live for anything.
Yeah, but
if you can live, they want to live.
But what if it doesn't work?
But that planet died. It used to be a planet. Why would we want to go back to a planet that used to be a planet?
Because when people want to do something so bad, we
stupid.
lose that knowledge because we're thinking on emotion. Now we're going, I want to live. We'll do anything. We're desperate.
Because we're like looking around, we're like, we're bored here. We're there.
I mean, like, think about it. I mean, Wall-E. All right,
I love that movie.
It's a good
It's
film.
an animated movie for
documentary
kids, but think about
I used to
like,
play that video.
No, the video game was
Selfish.
really cool.
Yeah.
That was the best game to play when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I played that like 3 or 4 times.
She used to play it all the time. That one, Pinata.
love
What was that Pinata one?
The Viva Pinata?
Yeah.
We talked about both playing the Wall-E game.
You could download Viva Pinata on the Xbox One. I played it recently.
Are you serious?
It's super
What's
fun.
Viva Pinata?
You basically plant a bunch of stuff and
Yeah,
you just,
vegetables and
and then you find different like creatures like pinatas that you like habitate in your like area. And
Are you on a different planet?
I don't know. I guess it's just like
In Pinata?
a different world. Yeah.
that one and Moshi Monsters.
Bro.
Moshi Monsters was our favorite game. That one and Club Penguin.
Club Penguin.
Club Penguin, dude, you told me about Club
He used to help
Penguin.
me with the missions and everything. Like I'd get stuck and
Yup,
be like, Papa, help me out.
Oh yeah, I would play Club Penguin. When she wasn't with me, I would play Club Penguin. Motion Monster was freaking fun.
Dude, what did we do? We basically just got we planted a bunch
Remember the different... They have a rubber bag.
It was like
Motion Monsters, what we do, we planted seeds
and then
would grow these monsters, or these little things and we would go, what did we do in there? I
And
forget.
they would be in the house just roaming around. That's literally it. We
Is
Is it like a form of Sims?
didn't do anything.
It was like Sims?
No. They're different flowers that you would grow.
It's so cute.
And it would create a little monster, little
moshi
thing.
Can you just do the Beavis Bop part again?
Biddly bop, biddly 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 boo.
Yeah, it was just different. That was one of them. That was my favorite one.
Remember when we found it like years ago when we found that same exact character and we pressed the sound and it made that sound? We were so happy.
Oh,
yes.
Just know after this video, we're probably all gonna be playing that
Moshi
game.
Monsters.
the fun thing about Moshi Monsters is that it had those side games that you would play.
Yeah.
Because you'd go to different locations, you'd play all these different side
like
games.
the underground music. Like I don't know, there was this like.
Oh, that was Club Penguin.
That was Club Penguin.
Where you had the DJ and you did all the different.
The DJing was
so
fun on
much
Club
fun.
Penguin.
Yeah, Club Penguin.
Club Penguin has some really cool missions.
You'd always have to get the membership, but it was only $5.
Dude, the membership. You know how much?
I still get emails from them.
Do you seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What is the Fox game? Did you guys ever play that game?
Fox
No.
game.
Fox.
Where
What's
his
the
name
Fox
was
game?
like, and he just jumps.
What
and,
does
like,
the fox say?
He
No,
jumps.
it
Wait,
was-
that might be. Wait,
It
is it
was
the one like
PlayStation.
Sonic
It
kind
was-
of?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I know.
fun.
Crash.
Yeah, Crash.
Crash
Yeah,
was a
I
really
played
good
that
game on
one.
the PlayStation 2.
Really?
I loved playing Crash. Playing Crash was really fun. I don't remember a lot about it. I was so young when I played that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then like I had Crash. I had dude. I had a lot
Snowboarding one?
of
Did you play the
games.
snowboarding one?
I didn't have the snowboarding one,
That
but
sounds familiar.
I had Crash. I had the SpongeBob
X
game,
Games,
the
I think.
SpongeBob movie
Yeah.
game. Those were
I
all
think I might
freaking
have
fun.
Yeah, you did play SpongeBob.
I love the SpongeBob game. That was like almost one of the
All the
best, too.
SpongeBob's too. Even the one with the multiverse with like Danny Phantom and all of them.
What specific
That
SpongeBob
was
game
so-
did I play? Because I remember playing it. I loved it. I just
It was
can't
just like the
remember.
first one that came out.
Yeah.
It was really basic. It was funny.
very basic, but
Because
I
you'd
might-
run through.
Yeah, and then there's a little music in the background.
Yeah.
Just SpongeBob playing over and over again.
Not to transition, but isn't it interesting how like because I was super sheltered
Yeah.
with like what we could watch and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, you definitely.
GTA would have never been allowed in our house.
No, even music
You know what I
wasn't
mean?
even
But
allowed.
and then it's like he raised you playing Scarface. It's just like
Hey, baby, what you doing?
smacking her butt.
Nice ass, lady.
It's like interesting how like so many aspects have to go into our life, and then it still be like different.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like we were talking about that earlier
Yeah.
with different people having like just different points of life of either being like built into class or just built in just not really having family or anybody,
Yeah, yeah.
and it still like affects them in different ways depending on how their family treated them.
Sure.
I had to
It's-
sneak watching Dirty Dancing. Like I had to.
Dirty Dancing. That's such a good one. You're just trying to watch an '80s film.
I was like standing at the door at my friend's house because I was waiting for her to come play, and Dirty Dancing was on, and I was like,
You know how
"Take your
hard
time,
it was?
girl."
I
Like,
love
I'm
that
really into
movie.
this movie.
Like there's moments where it's
Probably
like
got spanked for it.
there's moments where like my family would let me watch certain like movies. Like I don't know why it's weird. Like I can watch Jason, like the Jason movies because
Yeah.
my mom loved the Jason movies.
Really?
But I had to cover my eyes. The Jason Voorhees, the one with the hockey mask. And like my mom would let me watch that, but if there was nudity, we couldn't see it. And I remember one time we were watching on a computer, and my cousins and I like we were sitting there like waiting for the nudity scene to come out just so we could finally see it without our parents telling us to cover our eyes.
Dude,
All in
whenever
trouble.
someone would kiss in a movie, I wouldn't be able to see it. They're like, close your eyes. I'm like, what the fuck am I missing out on? Like, the connecting souls? Like,
We didn't really watch that many different like bad movies because I was forced to watch The Exorcist when I was 6 years old.
are you serious? I was forced to
I was
watch
forced-
Passion.
I was forced to watch the Texas. I was forced to watch the Texas
I was
Chainsaw Massacre.
traumatized.
Oh,
That
no.
movie's traumatizing.
It was Easter. Like everybody put it on. She's like, "You're gonna watch this," and I sat down and I'm like, "Why is he getting nailed?" I was like, "This
Dude,
is."
that movie's gnarly.
It was very harsh to watch as a little
and
kid.
they say it was even worse what really happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet, dude.
Actually, that movie is very cool though in the sense because what's the actor's name? Of course
Jim Caviezel.
Jim Caviezel is one of my favorite actors. When they put him on the cross, it actually pulled his arm out of socket, just
serious?
like they were trying
Just
to
so
show.
he could fit on
Holy
the
It
cross. Yeah.
really, and then he's on the cross, and the lightning, and he got struck by lightning.
Oh yeah, you told us about
It was gnarly.
Yeah.
That's
But
freaking crazy.
I've never
man.
seen The Exorcist. I can't watch it because I
Oh.
know if I see it, then
Dude, I watched it and I couldn't sleep afterwards.
Really?
Yeah, I was stupid. I watched it in a dark room during college, and I was
Yeah.
like, "It's fine," and then I just couldn't sleep.
No, that movie is.
why
there's
is it
nothing
so
right,
scary though?
There's
It's
nothing
not.
right about that movie at all. There's nothing right
Well,
about it.
the
you
thing
were
that's-
drugged and made to watch it.
Yeah, but still, I can't.
Wait. We were talking about being forced to watch the movies. Wait, you were drugged to watch that movie?
Yeah, his brothers held him
Wow.
down and made him smoke pot, and then made him watch it.
What? I was just.
It's cool. Well,
I was.
at the time, I thought it was cool. My mom was dating. My biological mother was dating a a guy, Virgil, who's another one of my fathers.
He looked like Jesus. He looked like Jesus.
Virgil didn't look like Jesus. but he had a 1972 Cadillac sedan DeVille. It was a huge freaking Cadillac.
Jesus had a 1972.
And they had me in the trunk.
Jesus had a caddy.
They had me in the trunk with my two brothers and my sister, my two sisters. They had 6 of us in his trunk. So they could pay for 2 people to get into the drive-thru.
Now I understand why you're so claustrophobic.
And then you pull the in the back seat. There's this little thing that pulls down the armrest. You pull the armrest down, and we crawled through the armrest, and we all sat in the back seat. And I sat in the middle, in between the front seat.
I hate this. I mean, it's a good story.
And they were all smoking weed, and the windows were up.
Oh no!
Oh no!
So here I am, 6 years old, and I'm just loaded, and they would held my face forward so I'd watch the movie.
Dude, that fucking...
I was screaming, no!
That's so sad.
And then I went home that night, and my brother Tim
it was The Exorcist, right?
Yeah. And then my brother Tim would flip his eyelids.
Oh, shit.
I don't know how he did it, but he would flip his eyelids like that, and he would come out.
Oh shit!
Oh my god!
That's so fucked up.
Traumatized me.
Jeez.
Traumatized me. I to this day I can't watch The Exorcist.
Wow.
So what I hear is we have to hotbox this house.
Here's the thing about The Exorcist. It's not scary because the makeup is so cringy and everything.
Yeah.
But the idea of it.
And the experience that went with it.
The idea of the daughter and the mom's relationship, I think I told you this before, the daughter and the mom's relationship and how they were so tied to each other, and all of a sudden the daughter gets possessed, and it's just like the eeriness of it, like the feeling of knowing that someone else is in the house that's not your daughter. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like you feel uneasy.
It's based on a true story.
That's another
First
thing
of all,
too. You know,
it's based on a freaking true story.
So was the
oh my
the of Emily Rose. What was that called? The depossession of Emily Rose or whatever.
I haven't heard
that's a true
that.
story. They said the Blair Witch.
Oh, that's not
No.
true.
That's what I'm saying.
That was just for clout.
They can say that.
They're
No,
just
but
like,
it doesn't.
my bitch.
Even with the Mothman prophecies, they said that.
Oh yeah, I don't even understand that one. It's so weird.
No, Blair's a good
But
Blair.
exorcism really does happen. That's what it's called. The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a true
That was like the
story.
fourth.
Is it a
one.
true story? Is it? Would you say it's a true story?
I just think they take certain things
Out
from
of
it.
context?
I think that honestly, I think there's people who have mental illness, and back then of course, like back then they would burn them, or they would.
They labeled them as
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is possessed.
That's
and
so
that's really
sad.
sad.
Remember we started watching those videos, and then all of a sudden you said you were interested. You were like, I've been watching these videos. I'm like, we were watching the same ones. It's like back then in the 60s or 50s when there were interviewing these types of people that like had mental illness. And like they were trying to like talk to them and trying to like see like what's going on.
Yeah.
It was just like they were trying to label them as like crazy, or like they were treating them like they were not.
It's
human.
like stayed the same. Something's changed, but it's really the same stereotype.
It was so sad.
You know? Yeah. That's I know those are crazy.
I'm just glad I was born today instead of back then, because like they freaking judged the hell out of people
and what
that
they
weren't
did
normal.
well, that's interesting because special needs kids were sometimes considered possessed.
That's
so they would literally put them in hospitals in dark rooms, and they would come by with a hose and just hose them off while they were naked, and then and feed them, and that was it. And they stayed in their rooms, and they were just like rocking and stuff. It's just like ew.
That's so sad.
But the thing with possession is it's real. They're like it really happens.
Yeah.
But when you know the Lord, like you can get those things out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those things cannot stand against the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
That's one thing that will get them out. That's why, like, priests would hold a cross and things like that. But
that's what I found so mundane, though. Like, whenever priests would be like all like over them and like holding a cross, I'm like, I don't know if this is the right way.
It wouldn't hurt them. They would die.
Exactly. That's so crazy to me. I don't know.
It's.
Scary movie was pretty good though.
Scary movie.
The parodies.
Oh my god. Yeah,
I never got into that one.
They're so stupid. I got
it was just like fucking stupid.
Dude, I watched all of them, which is sad.
All
they
of
were so
them.
stupid too. Like I wasted
Every
my time.
time they made fun of Saw when they had Shaq and the other guy chained up. And it's just like he had to make pointers, and if he didn't, he died.
I get it. They're trying to be funny, but it just like it was just.
Well, there's one.
I think
part,
they tried too damn hard.
There's one part where the girl, like he's eating out the girl, and she just freaking like nuts, and it's just like. It's just squirting in his face.
It's like not funny. I don't understand that
too much. Yeah.
We watched Tropic Thunder yesterday, and that was.
Everybody loves Tropic Thunder.
Have you watched Tropic Thunder since before?
I thought it was a different. I was thinking of a different one.
Okay, cool.
So
that was.
I heard of it, but I never saw it.
That movie is so genius. Honestly, we were talking about like how like much you could get away with comedy today, and like I told them that I watched this video that showed like all the stuff that you can't get away with in that movie today.
Well, I wouldn't say get away with it. I would say is that like when you're being honest, it's just telling the truth of a film.
And I was gonna say that like with that movie, like you can't get away with a lot of shit today, but if you're confident and if you know how to be funny and work around the system, then you know you could get away with it. It just has to be like knowing your lane and knowing your audience.
Yeah, because every comedy like it has a purpose. So like when somebody makes a joke that's towards somebody, and you could tell that there's not a point or meaning to it, versus when somebody takes the time to actually do it, and then you know in a respectful but at the same time actually like having a point. That's more important, because I know like a lot of people now are just trying to say stuff and then pass it by as comedy, rather than taking the time.
Yeah, to actually understand it. People just say stuff.
Yeah, because people like I've seen a lot.
People could say like for instance, they could say like a bad slang word, or they could just say something very freaking like
derogatory,
and it's like, okay, you may think that's funny because some of your friends may laugh, but in general, if you like actually went to a real person that you know finds things funny and they don't laugh, it's because like that's just derogatory, man. That's not funny.
Yeah,
like
that's more of like an inside joke that you share with your friends, which is just something that you all share in common. It's not something that's seen as funny or something that like you know people would understand.
Yeah,
because it's like you know you have those jokes or those things you say with people you know, and then you have the real outside world that actually could offend people, and then it's like you know. You always want to make sure that like you know you say the right thing, but it's just like but make it have a purpose.
But you guys gotta understand something. I'm old school.
This is one of those guys that's good.
If I offend somebody,
you're not old school.
I'm just old.
Your generation is passing, and we're the new generation.
So you can't get on.
But the young succeed the old.
But my problem is everybody's so flippin' sensitive.
Oh, for sure. We all know it. You all know it.
Flippin' sensitive.
Everyone knows up to it.
It's like, quit being so sensitive.
What if you want to be sensitive?
Huh?
No.
You can be sensitive. Listen, you can be sensitive.
But see, the comedy worked because I actually am sensitive, and I made it into a joke.
I'm super sensitive.
We're all sensitive here.
I cry at the drop of a hat. I do, right? I mean, I do. I try to watch a freaking commercial. Look at that fucking beautiful. And I don't want to cry, but it happens. But everybody's so sensitive over what you say and how you act. It's like we're losing our identities.
That's actually very
We're losing who we actually are. Mm-hmm. We can disagree with something, but I still love you. Mm-hmm. We could disagree. I could say something wrong, and if you hate me because I said something wrong, you're missing the point, because what we're meant to do here in life is to love each other. Mm-hmm. No matter how they feel. No matter what's going on in your head, whatever thing is happening in your life, it's what love is the thing that's going to take us out of the hate. Mm-hmm. And we need to stop being so damn sensitive and really appreciate somebody else's opinion.
Yeah.
And love on them.
Take time to understand.
Because we're going through a book together right now, and it's all about listening to each other, and it's all about understanding each other. If somebody comes at you, it goes back to the EMDR thing, it goes back to the mental illness thing. Mm-hmm. If somebody comes at you wrong, instead of reacting with, well, fuck you, I'm going to beat your ass, or I'm going to hate you, or whatever thing you're going to do, you come back with, I wonder if that person's doing all right. Wonder if that person's okay. What are they going through right now?
But first you have to realize that that's how God looks at you.
Right.
That's a good point.
And that's what we got to do with each other.
That's what
because there's a lot of division that's happening right now.
Too much.
It's the lack. We're so sensitive, but there's a lack of empathy at the same time. It's
exactly.
That's actually a really good way to put it. We're really sensitive, but a lack of empathy.
It's because we're so focused with ourselves that we're not looking at everybody else. It's interesting. We're so self-absorbed. Yep. I didn't realize that. I just said bullshit, and it made sense.
The freaking government or the media, like, makes people think, okay, they're oppressed. So people are like, we're oppressed, but then slavery really still does exist, or like not slavery, but racism.
Yeah.
It still exists, but then you have people in the government baiting each other against each other.
So exactly. Like, what the fuck is
it's a true thing.
Yeah.
But then you're baiting people, and it's like, what are they going to do? Of course, there's going to be.
How are we supposed to fix anything if we keep piling shit on?
It's like they don't want us to fix it.
Yeah, that's exactly the point.
We got to turn off our TVs. We got to turn off the news. And get engaged with each other.
Get off your phone.
And start loving on each other.
Yeah.
No matter what color, what race, whatever they're into, we're all in this thing together. Yeah. Number one, we're all in it together. Yeah. And it's all about love. And it makes me think about that movie Life is Beautiful. It makes me transition to that because my favorite movie, of course, is Life is Beautiful.
Too, yeah.
But the whole idea behind that movie was there's World War II, there's Nazis trying to kill Jews because they hate Jews for whatever freaking reason, and they're baiting the people of Germany and of Italy and of whatever place they were at to hate the Jews, and they didn't know why they're hating these people. It's like, why do you hate them? There's no need. They're
just trying to
for their own agenda.
There's no need to hate each other.
Yeah.
It's important that we look at each other as human beings and love on each other for who we are, and put aside what we hate about things.
That's true. That's very true.
115.
Good.
It's true because like especially like people are discriminating all the time, and it's really frustrating because it's like, how can we help that? Because we are just people in the world. We are just one human being, and when I realized that we may not make a huge difference, but the thing is we can make a huge difference in the life and the people around us.
That's why I love talking about it, because I mean, honestly, I know I don't have the money to do something, but at least saying what we can do.
Yeah.
You know, there are people out there who could listen, who could actually take the time to do something about it, because it's really hard. Like I mean, in all honesty, like what is it, like sticks and stones can break, like words are always going to be more powerful than anything else in this world.
Well, our tongue has no bones in it, but it's the most powerful muscle in our body.
Damn.
That's right. So
That's too real.
So we can say it's easy to cut, it's easy to take off, it's all this stuff. It's not strong at all, but it's strong verbally. It's strong what we can say to hurt somebody. We can say the most horrible thing to somebody, and that person will remember it for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy also is the fact that as little children we are defenseless. We can't defend ourselves. We don't understand the world. We're just walking little human beings that haven't had our brains fully developed. And the fact that these huge freaking people have power over us and just want to manipulate us when we don't even understand the world yet. And it's like they have their minds, they have their tongues, they have like their body. And it's like, how dare they even try to not lift up a child or teach them the real world. That's why I was so thankful for my papa to like help me, you know, and give me love and understanding, you know. And it's just sad to see that adults, actually grown adults that have a mind working, hurt someone that doesn't even understand the world yet. Like, that is so sad.
Yeah,
to me.
people who hurt children and try to manipulate their minds
It's
are
so sick.
Like what happened to my wife is absolutely horrible.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
For her father to manipulate her and to make her feel like she's done nothing.
and to use the word of God to do that, to use the Bible to do that.
He was a pastor, right? Or like a youth pastor?
Yeah. He went to prison on 19 counts for very bad things, and he only served a year and a half on good behavior because
That's crazy.
Back in the day, if you had a brand new baby, a newborn baby, they would cut your sentence.
Wow.
Or if you were recently married.
That's so freaking sad.
darling.
That should have nothing to do with their
And
actions.
he didn't have to register as a sex offender.
Jeez,
Which is
man.
fucking
That's
ridiculous.
right.
We could use this example of how you could manipulate somebody's mind as a child.
Yeah. For sure.
And have it impact them for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And we could go back, circle right back to mental illness.
Yeah.
And how she holds on to this because of what's happened to her in her life.
I torture myself,
Of
basically.
literally torturing without realizing that she's doing it. You could look at that and say, this is what happens to a child when you do this. Example. My wife is beautiful. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Most amazing voice I've ever heard in my life.
She has a beautiful voice.
She's amazing songwriter. Everything about her, but she struggles like you've never seen. And it's sad, and she's not the only one in the world. There's millions of people just like her. And it's sad. And then you could look at the other spectrum of Adeline, my Principessa. I hit her once. One time.
Oh.
Pow-pows, I used to say. I'm
Pow-pows.
pow-pows. She still had a diaper on. She was 3 years old, and I never baby-proofed my house. She would go to grab something. No! I would tell her. No. And she would like, okay.
She's like, okay, forget about it.
And then she would get to the point where like, I'm gonna grab this, and she'd look over at me, and she'd see me looking, and she'd like, oh,
That's what the outlet,
Sounds
remember?
like the outlet, everything that.
But she went for it with the outlet,
Yeah,
right?
she went for it, and she was like,
Oh wow.
But there was one time that I hit her, and she had a Lego in her hand, and we were all
Oh, the
watching.
Legos.
We were watching the movie Tombstone. Me and my family in Norwalk, and we were watching the movie Tombstone. She was little,
Tombstone.
and
What
she
was
kept
it?
putting the Lego in her mouth. Get that out of your mouth! You're gonna choke on it. And I would tell her, and she would okay, and she would stop, and then she would just put it right back in her mouth. Get that out of your mouth! You're gonna choke on it.
What an annoying
And,
bitch.
and she would take it back out of her mouth, and she put it back in. I would say it again. I go, if you do it again, I'm giving you pow-pows. Usually when I said I was giving her pow-pows, she would stop doing it. But this time, she put it right back in her mouth, and my brother Tony behind me says, bro, she just put it back in her mouth. And she took it out like, oh shit! And I got up and pow! Right on her butt. And she just looked at me like, what the heck? And it was the first time I ever hit her.
Spanked
And
her.
she-
You should probably say spanked.
Yeah,
spanked her.
because like his, like huge.
I spanked her. It wasn't that hard because she had this huge diaper on.
Oh shit, I'm thick as fuck.
No, you had shit in there though.
No, I had it.
I ain't clean me in months.
Yeah.
Choke in the trunk.
But she started crying, and I said, you're going to go in the room and think about this. And I set her down in the room, and I closed the door.
Typical.
And I went outside and started crying because it broke my heart to hit her. It broke my heart to punish her. So I thought to myself, what am I going to do? Is this a good story to tell right now?
I love this story.
I love this story, too.
story
You
afterwards.
just
Well,
stop
you
now.
guys keep freaking talking.
It's okay to
No, I'm listening. I just keep looking
So-
different ways.
We're commentating.
So I'm outside crying. I'm smoking a cigarette thinking, what am I going to do? I just broke my little girl's heart. What am I going to do? I have to teach her a lesson in this. And she's 3 years old. I got to teach her a freaking lesson.
I don't know shit.
So I walk back in the door thinking I got to go in there and talk to her. It's been maybe 10 minutes.
Enough.
And I look over the TV and I see we're watching the movie Tombstone. And I go, ah! And I went into the room and she's crying and crying and crying.
How old was she again?
She was 3 years old. And I sat on the...
diapers or three?
Yeah, she was still in diapers. That's a whole other
Yeah,
story.
that's kind of sus.
So I sit down on the bed and I grab her and I put her on my lap right here. And she's crying and I go, do you know what a tombstone is, honey?
Wait,
And
she's 6 years old or 6 months?
3 years old.
3 years old. Sorry. Okay.
3 years old. So I asked her, do you know what a tombstone is? And she goes, no. And she's crying and crying. I go, it's what they put on your grave. I go, do you know what a grave is? And she's like, no. And she's crying. You hit me, Papa. You hit me, Papa. I'm sorry. And so she doesn't know what a grave is. And I go, it's what they put you when you die. They put you under the ground. They put you in a grave, and they put a tombstone on your gravesite. I go, do you know what it means to die? No, I don't know what it means to die, Papa. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Aw.
So I'm holding back tears because this is the moment for her to learn. I go, it's not funny.
No, I'm just she still puts Legos in her mouth.
And I tell her, if you would have swallowed that Lego, or if you would have choked on that Lego, you would have died if we didn't get that out. And I would have had to put you in a grave and put a tombstone on your grave saying, this is my Principessa. She died from choking on a Lego. Whatever it was. And the light bulb went off above her head. And she was like, oh. I go, I don't want you to go away, honey. I don't want you to die. I want to see you forever and ever. And she got it. And the light bulb went off. And she understood why she was disciplined. She wasn't confused why she was disciplined. She understands that I love her. Her papa loves her very much. And I don't want her to do anything wrong so she could hurt herself. So she understood. We hugged. We loved. We cried. We both were wonderful. We came back out. We watched Tombstone. She never freaking put a Lego in her mouth again. But the difference between what happened to my wife, Michael, making her feel like she's done something wrong with confusion.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's happened to me. I'm sorry.
Love is not there.
Her whole life being, I'm sorry, when she hasn't done anything wrong, leading up to her being an adult, feeling the same way, not understanding, needing therapy, needing medicine, all of these things needing to be happening.
Stay away from Legos.
But it's how we're bringing up our children and teaching them whenever something, because you're going to do something wrong and you can't do anything wrong, and you're going to need to be told, this is wrong, don't do it again, and understand why.
Yeah.
And we move forward.
That's what I love about that as a kid, because like that made me the person who I am today. My papa always taught me about logic, not even like teaching me about it, just like explaining things and make me understand. And that's why I love that, because I can now just take time to step back and understand a person, what they're going through, why this happened, why this is happening to me, instead of just like reacting, you know? I just get to...
Logic is really important.
It really is, dude.
Yeah.
It helped me through a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I'll probably had a lot to do with that.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure, dude. For sure.
And when you fuck up someone's logic, like my dad did, it's like, how do you ever expect a kid to thrive?
Exactly.
Or to know how to work out a situation in their head? They just automatically think, oh, I'm an idiot, I'm wrong, I'm stupid, I'm all these things.
And I couldn't imagine what you went through, because he just pushed you to do so many things. It was bullshit. It's just like there was no love. There was just, you're this object that's going to win me an award. Like, that's just it.
Yeah, you definitely lived through me.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, we're going to try singing. Okay, now we're going to try soccer. Okay, now we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And then it was like I could never be good enough. I thought the sign said topless.
We have like a whole freaking sign right here to stay on topic. Are we going to talk about music?
Music.
I think, yeah. Let's talk about music. I have to
Let me put some wood in the fire.
Okay, cool. I have to go pee real quick. We're gonna...
Excuse me, what's that? That's how Jesus created you? Oh, I love that. Hello, it's me.
I think I might be a little tipsy. I just keep reaching down here.
I didn't want to interrupt. Oh, look at cupboards are so snug. She's just so snug. Hi, blah blah.
That's a really good podcast. Did you push pause? Huh? You still recording? Yeah.
I didn't want to tell anybody.
No, that's good.
Can you still see?
What if it's only good because we're wasted?
Are we gonna smoke?
Yay!
No, but what if we were all joining forces and do a podcast?
Yours. So
Okay.
go ahead.
Oh, you
there's
took.
none in there.
There's no more.
There's no more?
No, I didn't know you took hers. I
I
did.
didn't.
It's okay. No, you're fine. Let me have one drink.
Yeah, go ahead. They went that fast? I only had like 3.
I had.
There's only 12.
I think I'm on my 4th one.
Oh, that makes sense then.
Cause I did.
Oh, wait, never mind. I'm on my 4th one too, because these are 3 right here. All right.
We're back.
Cool.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Hi. We talked about a lot of topics, but another thing we want to cover is music and like things that affect us in our lives, and like how they like affect the overall type of vibe.
the overall.
The
type.
overall.
The overall.
But yeah, what's like a music, like what, Papa? We were gonna talk about like how you are really into like Tool. He introduced me to a lot of bands as a little kid. Like I'd sit in the car and he'd like be blasting Tool or Sublime.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of Sublime for her and the Doors.
Yeah, the Doors.
The Doors, Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd.
I
A lot
love
of
Pink
Pink
Floyd.
Floyd. And then Tool came out.
Yeah.
Or I started.
When did Tool come out?
I think Tool started in like 1989 or 1990, and very, very powerful band. Mathematically perfect when it comes to music.
Especially Lateralis, right?
Lateralis.
Lateralis, sorry.
The Tool Lateralis was probably the most perfect song ever made in my experience with music, and I've listened to tons and tons of music. But that song in itself, when you add in, actually the whole album was the Fibonacci sequence is a mathematical equation that if you were to draw it out on the graph, it would create a spiral.
And I wasn't good at math as a kid, but once my teacher taught me in like junior year of high school Fibonacci sequence, I'm like, my papa taught me this, I know this, and I was like, I could relate it back to Tool, and I think that was really cool.
Yeah, and the rhythms that they have, the timing, the tempo, everything that they have, the drum beats, the everything that about Tool is in my mind is absolutely perfect. It goes back to the video games. In my mind, Red Dead is a perfect video game. And if I play any other video game, it doesn't compare to Red Dead.
That's literally how it was, yeah.
So when it comes to Tool, like I love Santana, of course, because we represent Santana. Our last name.
Why did you change Bobby's last name to Santana?
Yeah.
So you could be a part of the family.
Michael Jason Leyva Santana.
Aww.
Santana,
CCR.
Gosh, there's so many bands. I can't think of all of them right now, but there's so many influential bands.
The Smiths.
The Smiths.
Oh, the Smiths. I love the Smiths so much.
The Smiths were really fantastic, are still really fantastic. There's a lot of Chicago is another great band.
I never heard of them.
But when you can't compare Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, all those guys, you cannot compare it to Tool. Because Tool is its own genre, it's its own perfection. It's what music should be for generations to come. Nobody, and I mean nobody, will be able to compare themselves to Tool because they are a perfect band in my mind. When it comes to music, because when it comes to music, it brings out emotions. It brings out whatever you're going through, it'll bring out that emotion of how you felt or whatever you're feeling at the moment or whatever. It'll bring you right back to what you felt at the moment when you first heard that song. And I think one of the first songs I heard from Tool was Sober from Tool, which was a really fantastic song. If you guys want to
I'd love to.
put that up or hear it. It's just another fantastic song. The lyrics, the music. They actually write the music first, and then they bring in Maynard to bring the lyrics into it, which is the opposite. Usually you have the lyrics and you bring the music to that.
Yeah.
But with Tool, they do the opposite of that, and it's just an absolute fantastic band to listen to, music to listen to.
Hear me out. Like, what if we just like played a little bit right now of like Sober? Because I'd love to hear it. I haven't heard
Sober?
it before. Yeah, because I haven't heard it before. I just want to hear a little bit because it sounds really good.
It's
you never showed me that, so like that's interesting.
Yeah.
He showed me like we cried together while listening to Tool.
Yeah. We like to. Can we give a shout out to the Key of Jeeves?
Oh yeah, the freaking YouTuber.
This guy who does music reactions. This guy I watch all kinds of music reactions.
We'll link him in the bio too if you want to check him out.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
This guy, see, when I listen to songs from Tool, I feel something amazing in my heart, in my body, in my mind, in my spirit. Everything about them is just simply amazing. Every single song I've ever listened to them, it's just been simply amazing. And it's very rare to say that about any band. You can pick out a band and then pick out a song, but the rest of their album sucks. The one song is great, but with Tool, every one of their songs are fantastic.
Beautiful.
Their new album, though, I gotta say, a little disappointed.
It's been life-changing for me when it comes to Tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It like even spoke to you when you were at your nervous times. Like
Oh.
you could still look on the outside and be like, "Wow, this is what I'm going through."
Yeah.
Like it's an addiction.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's crazy.
There's a song called "Push It,"
Push it real.
and it's. I can't say that this song is my favorite song for Tool or that song is my favorite because there's "Push It," there's "Right in Two," there's H,
Anemia.
there's "Anemia,"
That's
there's "Lateralis," there's "Grudge," there's all these songs that they've done. There's one called "The Flood," which is just music, and then they do a little bit of lyrics, but it's just so phenomenal what they do. But there's one called "Push It," and there was a time in my life where mentally ill, and I thought I had lost my daughter, and I wasn't ever going to see her again.
Dude, that was a dark time for you, for me.
And
Just not seeing
it was very, very dark time for me. And at the time, I was thinking of suicide. I was thinking of I've got it in my life because I'm never going to see my daughter again. And it was really, really difficult. I was really deep into drugs, and it was really, really, really dark period in my life, which thank God I'm not in it anymore. But if you were to hear a song about that, Push It would be the song that would emit all of these emotions that you would have about feeling that way. And that's what Tool does. They bring out these emotions in you that are just so real.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what we were saying about anxiety or the mental illness is you've got to embrace that in your life. This is how you feel. This is, there's nothing wrong with it. This is just how you feel. It's just how you deal with it and how you respond.
I always listened to Tool when I was doing drugs.
Probably
Really?
That's okay.
They can see you, I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, it seemed like everything
You
applied.
listen to Tool while doing drugs? Wow.
Both times I found drugs, I just would listen to Tool over and over.
Wow. That's crazy.
Because it kind of ministers to your soul. It's kind of like a...
Yeah.
Like a whole like
One of those-
mindscape.
Yeah, like your perspective. Everyone probably has a different perspective about it, but they can apply it to their own life.
Yeah. Wow.
If they can appreciate Tool.
That's crazy.
What's that song I told you to listen to a couple weeks ago?
It was, what was the song that we're listening to in the car when my papa was telling me we'd listen to it together?
We started
Riding
listening
too?
to
It might have been, what was it? It wasn't Let Her On.
Reflection.
Reflection.
Yeah.
It's called that
So
song right there. We're living up here. We moved up here. We have no idea how we're going to pay for things and all this stuff. And I'm sitting here worrying about it every single day. Oh my gosh, I'm like completely just overwhelmed with anxiety. And we were outside and we listened to that song. And in that song, it basically talks about crucifying your ego. And your ego meaning you're constantly self-absorbed with what you're going through.
Yeah.
And not looking on the outside of it, realizing that everything is okay. Stop focusing on yourself. Crucify your ego. Get rid of your ego. Start thinking about yourself, and start loving and enjoying the life that you have now. And that song, we were literally outside, and I was like, "Mama, you have to hear this song. You have to hear this song," and I was just weeping because of this song. Just drove me into that realization that I'm totally stuck in my ego right now.
Wow.
And it took me out of it, and it was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
It was an amazing turn.
What song was it?
Reflection.
Reflection, right?
Reflection.
I'm sorry, but it's gonna be hard to cut anything of this video because it's so freaking good.
We're gonna cut
Everything
that part though.
everything that we're talking about and all the topics and the fluidity of it is just so beautiful. But yeah, I'm just really happy about it. And also I was gonna say that in future references we are gonna have them back in our video. We're gonna talk about more topics and it's gonna be really awesome. Yeah.
We're gonna have multiple series of these videos because what we're gonna start doing, and what I'm gonna put in all the videos that we have with them is
This is ridiculous.
we're gonna cut this down and we're gonna start making it shorter. So
Yeah?
that you
How
guys
short?
can
I'm just
entertain,
kidding.
so that you guys can
Okay.
get different parts and different aspects.
So
from the
literally
day.
every video will probably be 15 to 20. Okay, our mental health topic was probably lasted for 40 minutes long though. Seriously. So
Yeah.
I don't know how that. We could have a video that's 40 minutes long, and then the rest of them is just gonna be tiny clips along the way, like the video game topic. But yeah, just be in tune for multiple videos coming out like that. He actually gave us the idea of doing that, so that's really smart. To market to you guys, so you guys can follow us and realize that we're actually really cool to listen to. So.
And for those videos, if we can cut them down and then work them out like that, we can have them cut, edit it, and then have them come out next. We can have the 3-part series of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
So one comes out Wednesday, the next one comes out Thursday, and the
That's
next one
really
comes out
smart.
Friday.
Dude, I'll be too excited though. I want them all to come out on the same day.
Don't worry,
The
we'll do that.
Yeah,
We'll do
right?
that.
It's all about the anticipation and
That's
waiting
true.
for it.
I'll be like you guys, being like, "Where's the next video?" 'Cause we have so many fans.
Me.
Yeah. So I'm really happy to have you guys talk
We're so happy
on
to
this
be here.
podcast. I love you guys.
Love you too.
Yeah, this is a really helpful. I'm just really glad I'm living with them because we support each other so much and we help each other through so many hard times, and this is pure love, especially with all the freaking dogs we have. Oh my god,
Tanner, when
I
you're
know.
back, you're next.
Tanner Berry. He's gonna
Your
be in
next
heaven.
podcast.
He's all gonna talk on the couch with us.
I feel like everything we've been through has made us stronger.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because it really is how you deal with things, and
So make us stronger,
Forgiveness.
girls.
Yeah, that's true.
there's a lot we just don't want to miss out on because of if we get frustrated. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's a lot that God has
Yeah,
for us, I
me too.
think.
it's true. And I'm glad as we keep growing and just like really learn to understand who we are.
Yeah. Maybe this will help us know ourselves better.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, so anything else you guys want to add to? I mean, go out and love each other. Just freaking learn to understand. Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on.
What is it?
Hold on, I need to give an experience of the other day.
Yeah, go ahead.
This will be like a totally other topic, but
Okay.
in our world of division that we're having right now, it's really sad. Because I'm a really outgoing person.
Yeah.
And usually wherever I go, I'm BSing with whoever I can talk to.
By the way, division is a good game.
Yeah. But
He just BS.
since this mask thing has happened and the coronavirus and all this stuff, we've had to cover our faces.
Yeah.
And we've had to cover our emotions with the mask. Because you can't tell how somebody's feeling if they have a mask over their face. All you can see is their eyes.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
The other day I went to the chiropractor and there were 3 other people in the room. It's a really small room, the waiting room. And usually I sit down, hey, how you doing? And blah, blah, blah. And how's it going? Hey, whatever. That's who I am. But I sat down and I felt this friction in the room. And it was really uncomfortable. And that's when I realized, see, I wasn't wearing a mask. Everybody else was. It's a whole other topic.
He's a rebel, no.
And, but I saw everybody else. One lady got up and moved down a couple of seats because I wasn't wearing a mask. So I thought, you know what, I'll put a mask on. And I put the mask on. And I just felt the friction in the room. And I thought to myself, how sad of a time we've come to that there are people of other colors or whatever. I don't look at colors, so I don't see it that way. But they just, I was the only white dude in the room. And I felt like I didn't belong. And me being raised in a Mexican family my whole life, being adopted
serving
twice.
you beers as a child.
And it's just like, I didn't see race. I never saw race. It wasn't a part of my life. I didn't see it that way.
Because he was raised in every culture. Like, he was raised in that environment.
But to sit there in that room and feel like I can't speak and say, hi, hey, how's it going?
Hey,
wow, you smell good today. Whatever I wanted to say.
Smell good today.
Well, some people wear colognes, like we said today at the
you-
liquor store. We said, "Man, your cologne smells amazing."
Yeah.
How would you
That's 'cause it normally
how would you
smells
separate
like
that
diaper
we
in
could
there.
see color but not race? Because I think that those are like two different things. Is that when we understand that somebody's a different color, but we don't see that they're a different race, because then we understand that we're all just one.
Well, because you have to look through the eyes of love.
It doesn't
Because-
have to do with color. It doesn't have to do with anything. Like, you understand their color. You understand that the person's black or Hispanic, but you look at them with love.
Why the team?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, if one of those persons would have got up and they would have tripped or something like that, I would have immediately, without
Because
hesitation,
they're a person.
got up to help them. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Because that's who we naturally are. We're naturally people to love each other. It goes back to when a baby is born and they're born premature and they're put into an incubator. There's been studies done that if you don't touch that baby dies.
Oh yeah.
If you don't give any kind of affection to that baby dies. So we're in an age of not giving affection to each other, and we're dying spiritually.
Yeah.
In
And
China, they just line the babies up when they're in the orphanage. They just line the crying babies up. No one holds them or anything.
And it's sad.
That's so sad.
Because we're not brought up with love, and love is gone right now. So what I would like to do is suggest to everybody before we finish here
Yeah.
is to, which we still don't know how to do yet, but we
No.
can all learn together as
We're
a
all
community,
Yeah.
is if you see somebody that's not happy or is being a complete asshole to you, tell them you love them.
Yeah.
Let's go out in love.
Tell
It's
them
really
you love
hard
them.
to do it, but
I love you.
It's super fucking hard.
Because if you think about what they're going through and how they feel that way, and if you tell them that I love you, how can they respond to you with anything but love?
Well, it's probably not their fault. Someone probably hurt them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. So that would be my message for today.
Exactly. Just all of our message, actually. Just go out and love someone and just try to understand what they're going through, like my papa said. There's not really much to say. You really fucking covered it. But, like, seriously, it's all about understanding it and thinking, not just irrationally going out there and just freaking assuming that, hey, they hurt me, then they're fucking bad. No. Just like really understand outside of your shoes, like, hey, they have a different life than me. So why not understand? Because we're all humans. We all live this life, so why not try to go out of our shoes and understand what other people are going through in their life? You know, it's kind of boring living our own life, so why not just like
ask
open our
them
mind?
to put on their shoes?
We just walk up to people, put on your shoes. That's our message.
Understand what you're going
It's
through.
time we put on each other's shoes.
Those Nike Adidas look awfully hard. But yeah, so yeah, that's our podcast, and we're gonna have great future podcasts in the future. So tune in. We'll link anything we did in the bio. What's that guy's name again? The guy that does Tool. What's his name?
Maynard.
No, the guy that commentates.
the key of Jeeves.
Yeah, we'll link him down below so
Or
you can
G's.
Because
The key of G's.
Yeah, my papa.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. We've all been drinking, but my papa.
I haven't had a drink all freaking night.
I've been drinking water. So good for you.
My papa showed me a couple of his videos today, and he's really fucking amazing. Cause he's a what is he
He's a composer.
He's a composer.
He actually calls himself a decomposer, and he's just
What the freak?
yeah. He's just the most amazing.
He's awesome. The way he explains things and the way I've seen it, his reactions remind me of my papa's. Because whenever my papa's remember my papa reacts to Tool, he's like, he gets like all riled up and he cries. It kind of reminded me of that because like you could feel the way Tool like freaking speaks to you. So yeah, just go check him out because you'll learn a lot. But yeah, so.
And one more thing, if I could add.
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
Please. When Principessa was 13 years old,
13 and a half.
she was sitting in the back of the car, and we were driving her back to her mom's house. And she looked like she was sad. I was always in tune with how she was feeling and whatever was going on. And I looked in the mirror and I said, Principessa! She's like, yeah, Papa. I go, how much are you worth? And she said, what? I said, how much are you worth? If you could put a dollar value on you, how much are you worth? And she goes, $50. And I said, you're a great singer. You have a great personality. You're a great actress. You're beautiful. You have all these great qualities. I go, how much are you worth? And she said, $500. And then I said to her, how much? What if I told you that you're priceless? What if I told you that there isn't a jewel in the world that they found that could pay for you? How would you feel next? And she kind of sat up and looked. I go, do you understand what I'm saying? And she says, yes. And I go, how much are you worth? And she said, priceless. So I ask you, how much are you worth? You're priceless. Don't ever forget that.
I love that. That's true. And it really affected me when he said that because I'm like, that gave me, like, literally when he said that, the first thing I thought of, what's the logic side of this? As a human being, how much am I worth? I'm not worth much. I haven't done anything with my life. I'm 13 years old. $50. but literally right when he said that, I'm priceless. I'm literally a human being with emotions and understanding, and who I am is just beautiful. You know, that just shows that we all can be priceless. We shouldn't have $1 on our ass, you know? So
$1?
No matter how thick it is.
Maybe in our breast. Maybe in our breast when we're working.
Does that mean we can use money to wipe our buns?
Absolutely, sis. Be you, be true. But yeah, it just opened my eyes. So like, if you could look at yourself as priceless, then that's just a huge step to like.
Really?
Shush!
Shush.
You're
How much are you worth?
Wait, I
He's
was saying
priceless.
something.
That's just a huge step to accepting yourself. So, yeah, we're closing out this video today in a wholesome note and just like, I don't know, it was nice. Yes. Yes.
Sorry.
We'll probably stop it when you're popping it.
Queef!
We got you.
So you guys have a good night. We love you guys. We'll come back next week with more videos.
Yeah.
Would you like to say bye to them?
Bye.
Good night. Would you guys exactly?
Make it like a high, make it
No,
like a
not
honey
that
though.
We'll love each other. Good night.
You don't like make it like a high?